8:45. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Here is the news, edited by Lal Mallavarachi and read by Indrani Senanayake. The headlines. Vessels carrying diesel and petrol will arrive in the country by next week. A Sri Lankan delegation is to visit Russia to seek support. The PUCSL recommends probe into power interruption due to CEB union action on the 9th of June. A program to distribute chemical fertilizer for the crops in the JUL season will be expedited. A national industrial policy will be presented to Parliament. In foreign news, gunman charged in court with murder in Copenhagen shooting. Sports. The Indian women's cricket team clinched the ODI series against Sri Lanka. The Minister of Power and Energy, Kanchana Wijesekara, says that vessels carrying 40,000 metric tons of diesel will arrive in the country on Friday and Saturday respectively. Another shipment of 40,000 metric tons of diesel will arrive in the country on the 11th and the 14th of this month. In addition, the IOC will bring another stock of diesel on the 15th of July. Further, the government has conducted talks with the Malaysian government to obtain petrol and kerosene oil. Accordingly, 15,000 metric tons of petrol and 10,000 metric tons of kerosene will arrive in the country before the 11th of August. A Sri Lankan delegation is scheduled to leave for Russia on the 9th to discuss getting Russia's support to help Sri Lanka recover from the economic crisis it is facing. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa has sent a special letter to President Vladimir Putin informing him that Education Minister Dr. Susil Premajayantha and former Sri Lankan Ambassador to Russia Dr. Saman Veerasinghe will participate in these discussions on behalf of the Sri Lankan government. The delegation, who will leave for Russia on the 9th, will hold several rounds of preliminary discussions with the high-ranking representatives of the country's government from the 11th to the 15th. The delegation is expected to discuss with the country's representatives regarding obtaining fuel, fertilizer, gas, loans and humanitarian aid. Minister of Power and Energy, Kanchana Wijesekara, says he has received a letter from the Public Utilities Commission of Sri Lanka, PUCSL, recommending the conduct of an inquiry into the power interruption due to the CEB union action on the 9th of June. He said, according to the letter received this morning, the PUCSL has concluded that a cost of 320 million rupees has been incurred by operating fuel power plants when hydropower could have been generated on the same day. In a tweet, the minister added that on the 10th of June he had instructed the chairman and the general manager of the Ceylon Electricity Board, CEB, to internally investigate the incidents. He said they've also instructed to assist the CID in their investigations and to temporarily remove the alleged persons responsible from the positions to carry out an impartial inquiry and take appropriate legal steps. This news comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. We continue with local news. Deputy Commissioner of Agrarian Services, Chamida Ekanayake, told the SLBC that a program to distribute chemical fertilizer for the crops in the JUL season will be expedited. It will be implemented in all districts with the support of the relevant Agrarian Service Commission officers. Leave of the Agrarian Services Department officials have been cancelled to streamline this program. Some unscrupulous traders sell a 50-kilogram pack of urea at 55,000 rupees in the local market at present. An internal investigation has been initiated by the Sri Lanka Army in connection with the incident at a petrol shed in Kurunegala, where an army officer attacked a civilian, went viral on social media. A video showing an army officer kicking a man at a petrol shed was shared on social media, and it was reported that the officer who attacked the civilian is a Lieutenant Colonel of the Sri Lanka Army. Army spokesman Brigadier Nilantha Premaratna said the Army has begun an internal investigation into the incident. However, he said, according to the fuel shed owner and the officials, a group of men who were at the filling station had interrupted its operations.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
Minister Ramesh Patidana says that a national industrial policy will be prepared and it will be presented to Parliament within the next 3 months. This policy will pave the way to provide facilities and relief to industrialists to start ventures in Sri Lanka. The government is keen on granting more relief to industrialists in order to create more employment opportunities for Sri Lankan youth.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
On to Watchlight. Treasury bonds worth 70 billion rupees will be issued. The central bank says that Sri Lanka at the auction will be held on Wednesday the 6th. The bonds will be purchased through the primary dealers and licensed commercial banks. World News headlines. Gunman charged in court with murder in Copenhagen shooting. 42 dead, 20 missing as rescue operations continue in Manipur landslide. Scientists discover new giant water lily species. A 22-year-old man suspected of killing 3 people at a shopping centre in Denmark's capital, Copenhagen, has been charged with murder. 2 Danish citizens, both aged 17, and a 47-year-old Russian citizen were killed in yesterday's attack. Police said the suspect had mental health issues and there is no indication of a terror motive. He had a rifle and a knife, and his shooting was random. Rescue teams in the northeastern Indian state of Manipur are searching for 20 missing people days after a massive landslide. More than 40 people have died so far in the landslide, which hit a railway construction site a few days ago. The victims were mostly labourers and members of a volunteer force of the Indian Army. Officials say heavy rains and fresh landslides have hampered rescue efforts. A new species of giant water lily has been discovered, and it's been hiding in plain sight for 177 years. The huge plant has been in the archives of the Royal Botanic Gardens, Kew, and was growing in a number of aquatic collections, but it was mistakenly identified as another species. Now a detailed scientific study has revealed that it is a new scientific finding. It also holds a record as the world's largest water lily, with leaves growing more than 3 centimeters wide. To end this bulletin of world news, we take a look at the headlines again. Gunman charged in court with murder in Copenhagen shooting. 42 dead, 20 missing as rescue operations continue in Manipur landslide. Scientists discover new giant water lily species. That ends this bulletin of world news. On to development news. Karagaha in the Hambantota area has been renovated under the Smart Irrigation Project. A sum of 16 million rupees has been utilised for this project. 60 farmer families will benefit from this project throughout the year. That was development news.
Sports news is brought to you by
Sampath Bank. We present your future.
On to sports news. Renuka Singh Thakur's 4-wicket haul, followed by a record opening stand between Smriti Mandhana, 94, and Shefali Verma, 71, helped India register a comprehensive 10-wicket victory and go 2-0 up against Sri Lanka in Pallekele today. India opted to bowl first in the second ODI and went with the same team they fielded in the first ODI, while Sri Lanka brought in Vishmi Gunaratne and Amar Kanchana. In her only 4th ODI, Renuka Singh Thakur put up a stunning performance, ably assisted by Meghana Singh, to bowl out Sri Lanka for a subpar total. Thakur had picked up 3 wickets in the first match, with the host folding for a similar total of 171. Thakur got to work soon enough, dismissing 3 Sri Lankan wickets under 7 overs. The Ghana took the all-important scalp of Sri Lanka captain Chamari Atapattu as the hosts were reduced to 4 for 2 in the 16th over. Meghana also dismissed Nilaksha De Silva, crippling Sri Lanka further. A tight bowling performance meant that Sri Lanka were able to hit only 11 fours in their innings as they were bowled out for 173.
Cash through NSP globally and win wonderful gifts locally. From October 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency 3 times through NSB U Trust.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Tea exports to Ukraine dropped 55% to 755,120 kilograms in the 5 months to May 2022, down from 1.6 million a year ago after Russia invaded the country, industry data showed. Exports to Russia also dropped 19.4% to 8.4 million kilograms, up in May 2022 from 10.5 million a year ago, data published by Ceylon Tea Brokers showed.
Business News, sponsored by
Cash through NSP globally and win wonderful gifts locally. Will you be the lucky winner of the NSP Golden Jubilee? 50 gold sovereigns for the top prize winner of the NSP Golden Jubilee. Scooters for the 10 second prize winners. iPhones for the 10 third prize winners. Mountain bikes for the 29 fourth prize winners. From October 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency 3 times through NSB U Trust.
Economic news, courtesy of
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibility. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
Sri Lanka's tax revenues grew 27% from a year ago to 543.6 billion rupees up to April 2022, partly helped by one-off retrospective tax, official data showed, while inflation also started to gallop, which tends to boost nominal turnover-based taxes. By April, Sri Lanka's 12-month inflation had hit 29.8%, but many traded goods had risen higher.
LOLC Finance is taking the power of innovation to the next level, winning 5 golds at the Technovation Awards 2022, leading the digital revolution with cutting-edge interbanking digital payments. LOLC Finance claims the overall gold award, whilst also claiming an extraordinary victory in digital banking. LOLC Finance will continue to innovate with the next generation digitalization of financial services, delivering a superior customer experience.
And finally, we take a look at the weather report. The Met Department says the prevailing windy condition is expected to enhance further today in the western and southern sea areas and in the southern half of the island due to the active southwest monsoon. Showers will occur at times in the Sabaragamu province and in the Kandy and Nuwara districts. Several spells of showers will occur in the western and northwestern provinces and in the Galle and Mathura districts. Showers or thunder showers may occur at a few places in the Uva and eastern provinces during the afternoon or at night. Strong winds, about 50 to 60 kilometers per hour, can be expected at times in the western slopes of the Central Hills, the western, southern and northwestern provinces. To end tonight's news broadcast, we take a look at the headlines again. Vessels carrying diesel and petrol will arrive in the country by next week. A Sri Lankan delegation is to visit Russia to seek support. The PUCSL recommends probe into power interruption due to CEB union action on the 9th of June. A program to distribute chemical fertilizer for the crops in the Ala season will be expedited. A national industrial policy will be presented in Parliament. And in foreign news, gunmen charged in court with murder in Copenhagen shooting. And in sports news, the Indian women's cricket team clinched the ODI series against Sri Lanka. That ends tonight's news broadcast.